Michelangelo Badio's picking always kind of fascinated me. The precision, the control, and of course the speed. Especially in his legendary song Speed Kills No Boundaries, there's one picking section in the beginning that always dropped my jaw on the floor. But now it's time for you and me to learn and master this lick. And therefore I welcome you to today's lesson. Hey, I'm Mr. Hornbach, back from my practice cave, and let's go. If you want to have the tabs in Guitar Pro form and as well backing track to practice along in different tempos for this section, then check out the link in the description box. There you can download them for free. Okay, but first let me play this section slow for you guys, and then we are getting into it note by note, detail by detail. Okay, now first we are starting off with something that is called the Paul Gilbert lick, which is kind of ironic because Michelangelo Badio used this lick long before Paul, but I don't know why the name Paul Gilbert lick just stick to that kind of pattern. And I'm talking about this one here. Before we check out this lick, let's talk about the scale that we are in. We are in the D minor scale, and the 3-note per strings pattern that you require for this kind of long lick is the 2nd scale degree, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, but mostly the 2nd, but mostly this one here. This is the pattern that we need the most later on. Again, but we are starting with the Paul Gilbert lick, and the Paul Gilbert lick starts on the 17th fret of the B string, 7, 18, 20, and then going to the 17th fret of the E string. And here we need something which I call the snap movement to go from upward pick slanting to downward pick slanting. We need a lot of two-way pick slanting, this kind of lick, or two-way pick slanting is the way to go, which really helped me to get the clarity and the speed and the precision in this lick. So get used to upward and downward pick slanting. It is really important for those kind of licks at a certain tempo. After that, we're going to something which is often called the Pepsi lick, coming from that famous Pepsi commercial where Vinnie Moore was playing an incredible lick, and this kind of sequence is really inspired by this lick. And first we are playing it horizontally, and slowly the next section goes like this. Everything we are playing now horizontally. We are starting on the E string, playing 3 notes, going to the B string, and then changing back to the E string. Here we have something which is called inside picking, which is kind of tricky in the beginning, but I highly recommend to practice this with starting with the downstroke to create this inside picking situation rather than cheating around and starting, for example, with an upstroke. There are often situations where we need inside picking and where we need the control over inside picking, and this is an extremely good exercise for that. Okay, let's check this one out again. All 3-note per string in D minor. After that, we're using this Pepsi lick vertically, now going descending also on the strings and on the scale positions. First we are starting again here on the 20th fret of the E string. Then we're playing the same lick 1 octave below. Now we're doing a position shift, descending to another string set lower. And this is the 3rd section of this whole lick. Let's play this one slowly. Hey, if you want to learn more about pick slanting, picking speed, and all those licks like the Paul Gilbert lick or the Pepsi lick, then check out the ZEN of Speedpicking, my online picking masterclass, where I teach you the way of speed picking with tons of licks, tons of explanations, etudes, workouts, everything that you need to boost your playing to the next level. And a detailed practice routine and practice structure, how I boosted my picking to the next level in the last couple of years. Check the link in the description box and get the ZEN of Speed Picking. Now let's continue with this lesson. Now for the next section, we keep in his core the idea of the Pepsi lick, playing descending 3 note per strings pattern, but from the strings now we're going ascending. And by that we are creating now an outside picking situation, which is often for most people a little bit easier than inside picking. But I personally find it really hard, or find it kind of unnatural and a little bit confusing, playing descending in the sequence with my fingers, but ascending in the strings. Let me play this one slow. In this case, we're starting on the A string, the D minor scale, going to the D and to the G string. After we've reached the G string, we're now playing the Pepsi lick again normally, and here we're going again down to the D string. Sorry. And then we're doing another position shift up to the next position, and then we're jumping again to the G string. From the lower position that we just played, now we're doing a little bit of string skip to the E string and resolving to the A. So let me play the last part, the last section slow for you guys. Now let's talk a little bit about pick slanting. For pick slanting, I start always, when we have an uneven number of notes per string, with an upward pick slanting. And then I have to change every time when I go to another string that has an uneven number of note on that string. For example, on the Paul Gilbert lick, I start with upward pick slanting. And then for that one note, I go to downward pick slanting. So up, down, up, down, up, down. For the Pepsi lick, I start with upward on the E string, for example, and then on the lower string, in this case the B string, I go to downward pick slanting. So upward, downward, upward, downward, upward, downward. And I keep that for the rest of the lick. Always upward and then downward, upward then downward. Never do one pick slant twice on 2 different strings. We are always changing, because here in this situation we always have an uneven number of notes per string. So I hope you liked this little lesson, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, leave a like. Cheers and stay progress.